Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you again for part 3 of the decent to good albums of 2020 video. And I know there's going to be a lot of videos for this, so I just want to hopefully get done with this in the next hour or so. But I don't know, it may take a little longer. But I'm going to continue where I left off with what number I left off at for this decent to good albums of 2020 end of the year list and let you know what I think of these albums and what I'm going to talk about with these albums for this end of the year list. So let's start at number 38. Well, to continue, we're going to start at number 38 with Hayley Williams' Petals for Armor 1, the EP. This was a solid EP. Not great. It was average. There were some songs I could say that are fine, and then some songs that were, Cinnamon was not my favorite. It had a really distorted beat to it, really offbeat kind of track. Like the beat was very off, and just how the song's playing out, it didn't do so well. I was like, this ain't my favorite song, but it did alright. Uh, then there's other ones. Creepin' was the least favorite, and Sudden Desire was not so bad. The first two songs, I believe. Um, there's there's other ones as well. Uh, Simmer was good. I really like Simmer. The second track on the album that does eventually go to the album itself uh, is not bad. So Hayley Williams did an average job on her EP for Petals for Armor 1. So at number 38, we had Hayley Williams with Petals for Armor 1, the EP. At number 37, we have Deftones with Black Stallion 20th Anniversary of White Pony album. Now, I just reviewed this like yesterday or the other day, and I hope you guys enjoyed that review. I know some people were like, this remix album's not great and all that, and I saw a comment on my video saying this fucking remix album is terrible. I'm like, it was average. That's just my opinion. I know everyone else is gonna have a different opinion about what they think of this new Deftones album or whatever album they think they like and don't think they like. But I thought it was average. It's like almost in the middle of being good. Uh, the last track on the remix for Black Stallion for the remix album, I think it was Pink Maggot. Uh, it was a remix song. That was bad. That was pretty bad. It was just disappointing. I liked Chino Marino's singing voice in it, but I didn't like the song that much. There was a lot of electronic work that was taking over most of his voice, and it didn't sound really good. It was a little disappointing, but overall, I think Deftones' Black Stallion 20th Anniversary of White Pony was an average record. It made it on the decent to good albums of 2020 list. So that's not bad. So at number 37, we had Deftones with Black Stallion 20th Anniversary of White Pony. I did hear the regular edition to it, and I actually do enjoy it. I'm giving that an 8.5 out of 10. And I'll definitely do my actual review on it next month when I review the Deftones Marathon album reviews. So definitely tune in for that next month. At number 36, we have Ariana Grande with Positions. Now, this was a fairly average album. I said average. Sorry about that. Average album. Not my favorite, but it was solid for what it was. There were some songs like 34 plus 35 was not bad. I was gonna give it an 8 out of 10, but considering that Off the Table was a little stale and not my favorite, it didn't do so bad. Nasty was her lyrics in this album get very sexual, and it's like she's trying to be like, oh, I'm craving sex or whatever. I'm like, oh, I'm like, wow. That's a little cringy to think about, but yeah, it's kind of hilarious at the same time. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I don't know what to say to that. But Shut Up was a pretty good song. Motive featuring Doja Cat it was fine. Doja Cat's probably not my favorite rapper, but she's better than Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. Uh, Ty Dolla Sign was alright in Safety Net, and the title track was pretty good, and POV was good. Obvious was very good, and some other tracks as well. But at number 36, we had Ariana Grande with Positions. At number 35, we have Tenet, the original motion picture soundtrack. Now, I saw the movie, and the movie was okay. It's not the best from Christopher Nolan. I liked him when he made the Batman movies because those were good. Those made sense. When he made Inception and uh, after that, after Inception, he made this new one, Tenet. It didn't do so great. The plot was very confusing, but the soundtrack was not bad. I like the soundtrack, and musically, it's structured very well. Not great, but it's structured pretty average. The song was Travis Scott, The Plan. I actually don't hate that song. I think it's one of the best songs that came out in 2020. It's production wise of that song, it's atmospherically great. Uh, just the vibe you get when you listen to that song, it's pretty chilling, and it's pretty cool. For The Plan by Travis Scott, it's the last song on the regular edition of the soundtrack of Tenet. But yeah, overall, the other tracks, I think the longest one was Posterity. And that was like a 12.5 minute track. That was pretty long. I listened to the whole soundtrack, and it was like 86 minutes. So it's pretty lengthy for a soundtrack. But at number 35, we had Tenet, the original motion picture soundtrack. Number 34, we have Kenny Chesney with Here and Now. There was the title tracks were not so bad. I actually like the title track. Just his other songs kind of sound the same. With oh tequila this, oh I'm gonna rock, we're gonna rock like we do. Like we do is not a bad one. I don't hate that one. Tip of my tongue is pretty fair track. I wouldn't say Kenny Chesney is a bad country artist. I would just say that his songs sound the same. Like same beats, same kind of vibe you get when you listen to his music. You're just like, it's like I've heard this before, but on a different song of his that he makes or whatever. So yeah, Kenny Chesney did an average job on his new album, but not perfect. So at number 34, we had Kenny Chesney with Here and Now. Number 35, not 35, number 33. I I was saying it wrong. I'm really sorry about that. We have Max with Color Vision. This one was a pretty fair album. Checklist was not a bad song. I don't hate that song. I just don't think it's my favorite track. And there's other ones. Working for the Weekend is not a bad one. Yeah, it's not a bad one, but it did all right. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I can pop this thing, this cap or whatever. There we go. I popped it now. Yeah, Working for the Weekend was not a bad song. Sorry about that ding. This phone really does that a lot. Yeah, Max's Color Vision was not a bad album. Not my favorite, but it made it at a pretty solid spot on this decent to good albums list. So at number 33, we have Max with Color Vision. Number 32, we have Hayley Williams with Petals for Armor. Now, this was a pretty solid album. Pure Love was pretty good. Sugar on the Rim is another great track. There's the last track on here. Dead Horse was pretty catchy for what it was. Over Yet, I kind of do like. The If There's Resistance and all that lyric. It's pretty catchy of a song. But the album did fairly average. Made it at the pretty lowest spot of the average list. Kind of lowest spot because we're almost into the good spots for the good albums. We're almost there to it. So yeah, it's a big list, but yeah, we got almost 25 albums done now. So at number 32, we had Hayley Williams with Petals for Armor. I'm going to have to talk about one more album, and then I got to close out this video. Number 31, we have Black Eyed Peas with Translation. Now, this was not a bad album. There were some songs like Vida Loca was pretty solid. Mamacita was... Girl Like Me, I could not stand that song. With Shakira in it, I was like, the eye you're looking for, or whatever. I'm like, oh my god, this is just ear grating. I just couldn't stand that song, The Girl Like Me, featuring Shakira. But Woke Up Like This, I Woke Up was not the best song, but it was fine for what it was. They really went downhill with this album a little bit, but it didn't do terrible. It just wasn't better than Masters of the Sun Volume 1. Masters of the Sun Volume 1 I really like. They should make another volume, or try to at least. But still, this was a fairly average album. Some songs I didn't hate, but there's a few that were misses. Like News Today was not a bad one. And Action was not a bad one either. But still, at number 31, we had Black Eyed Peas with Translation. I'm going to have to end this video here, but I will return to you for part 4 for the decent to good albums of 2020. I got all the way to the final list, almost to the final 30 now. So we only got 30 more to do, which is still a bit, or 31 more to do, I guess you could say. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this decent to good albums of 2020 end of the year video. I'm sorry that part 3 was a little lengthy. I just want to try to get this uploaded and see what happens, but I will return to you for part 4 very soon, so definitely stay safe, take care, and I'll see you soon for part 4 of decent to good albums of 2020 end of the year video.